the black. If you know, then you know. Every family has a villain, or at least that's what they tell themselves. Because if every family has a villain, then nobody else has to look in the mirror. Let me tell you a story. There were 4 boys. Let's call them Jack, Tony, Tom, and Ben. Their names don't matter. The story does. Their parents were traumatized long before they had children. But instead of fixing themselves, they had 4 kids. Because that's what people do. They mistake having a children for having a purpose. And then one day, the mum disappeared. Hospital, breakdown, suicide attempts. Their dad might as well have disappeared too. So who become the man of the house? Not the eldest, the second eldest, the 16-year-old. The one who just finished worrying about his GCSEs and now had to worry about grocery shopping instead. He left school, got a job, paid the bills, made sure everybody ate, made sure his younger brother and little sister didn't end up in foster care. Did he get it right? Of course he didn't. He was 16. He turned the house into a 24-hour party. Music, drink, people everywhere, every day. Imagine handing a 16-year-old the keys to a house and then acting surprised when he behaves like a 16-year-old. Funny how nobody asks why he had the keys in the first place. Months later, Mum comes home, discharged herself from hospital. He hides every tablet in the house because he knows she'll try and kill herself again. She screams at him for hiding them, sends him into town. He comes back, ambulance outside. She'd found more pills and tried again. That was the day he realized. You can't save somebody who doesn't want saving. So he left, not because he stopped loving them, because he finally started loving himself. Years pass, life moves on, or at least his does. The others, they stay exactly the same. Different girlfriends, different drugs, different excuses, the same people. One loses his children. Another blames everyone else. Another tells stories about the brother who left. Funny thing about broken people. Funny thing. They don't always lie. They just rearrange the truth until they can live with themselves. And then one day, his phone buzzes. A message. I am your nephew. Except he didn't know he even had one. Turns out, one of his brothers had lost his children many years before. Foster care, adoption. The nephew wanted answers, not money, not revenge. So it would seem. He just wanted answers. What happened to this family? That's the question everybody asks. It's the wrong question because everyone wants to know what happened. Nobody wants to know what they kept choosing afterwards. See, there's a difference between trauma and permission. Trauma explains. Permission excuses. Too many people confuse the two. My dad was violent. My mum had a breakdown. I was obsessed. I was abused. I was neglected. All of that can be true. Every word. But then comes the uncomfortable question. What did you choose next? Because somewhere along the line, being a victim became an identity, not an experience. The funny thing is, every branch of that family had its own story. Every single one believed something else ruined their life. One blamed the parents. One blamed social services. One blamed addiction. One blamed society. One blamed the brother who left. Nobody blamed the person staring back in the mirror. That's how scapegoats work. Families don't always heal. Sometimes they nominate one person to carry everyone's shame because everyone's pointing at them. Nobody has to ask themselves difficult questions. And it's genius. It really is genius. Cruel, but genius. Then come the realization. Maybe there was never a family curse. Maybe it wasn't inherited trauma. Maybe it wasn't fate. Maybe every generation simply copied the generation before it because nobody is willing to be uncomfortable long enough to change. The nephew kept searching for answers. The uncle kept trying to explain. But eventually, the uncle realized something. The kid was asking the wrong person, not because the uncle didn't know, but because no answer about the past will ever build someone's future. The past is context, not destiny. You don't break generational trauma by understanding it. You break it the first time you refuse to become it.